Hi everyone, it's Tawney. This video is not an empties video. I feel like I need to start that off by saying this. It's similar to an empties video, but not quite. This is a video where I'm going to be talking about makeup I would repurchase if I ever ran out, if that makes sense. So if I were to run out of these products, these are the products I would repurchase for my collection, if that makes sense. I have a lot of other products in my collection that I would probably repurchase, but these are ones I know for a fact that I would do this with, as I have already done so with some of these products. So you're going to see that as I discuss them, but we're going to get right into it, and we're going to go in order of how we apply the makeup. Now, I don't have a full face. There is like a very basic, you can see a full face kind of a thing, but we're not quite full face-ish. And I don't have an eyeshadow palette because I was looking at all of them. I just kept thinking, is there one that I would want to rebuy again? Like, eyeshadow palettes are all the same, even though they're all different, you know what I mean? And I don't have one that I like enough that I could find myself like rebuying, because a lot of times like the eyeshadow palettes are so expensive that like, I don't know if I could spend the money a second time. So a lot of these products, if not all of them, are drugstore products, because that's the price range that I could be able to repurchase just off the bat. Just, oh, I ran out of this, I need to go grab it kind of a thing. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. Not all of us get PR. Not all of us make millions of dollars. So yeah, we're going to jump right into the video. First thing I want to talk about is a primer, and it's from NYX. It's the Angel Veil Primer. I'm actually getting like, you can like, it's squishy, so, but there's a lot of air. Whenever I use it, I have to like really squeeze it out. This is probably the second or third tube I've had of this, so I have repurchased this before, but this is definitely a product that I would not want to not have in my collection, if you know what I mean. I love using this primer. It does what I need it to do. It works the way I want it to work. It does a good job priming the rest of my face for my foundation, concealer, etc. And I just feel like it's definitely worth the $14.99 that they charge for this. And I would definitely repurchase this if I ran out of this in my collection. For foundations, I have two of them. You can probably pick one of, like, you can probably figure out one of them, but the other one might surprise you. The first one would be the Maybelline Superstay 24-Hour Foundation. I'm in the shade 112, Natural Ivory. That seems to be my overall shade for Maybelline. This foundation is like the best foundation I've ever tried in my life. I have foundations that work relatively well and they do relatively what I want all of them to do, but this one is the one that like does it. Like, it's a mattifying foundation, but it doesn't look super mattifying on the skin. It kind of gives you that fresh look. You can see a little bit of like that glow and dew coming out. I have oily skin, so I definitely like a foundation that can handle that, and this one definitely can. I wore this in 90-degree heat all day yesterday for about 14 hours and had no problem. So this is the foundation that I would definitely repurchase. I would cry if I ran out of this and then didn't have a backup, like, or didn't have like the ability to go get one right away. The second foundation is the Physicians Formula, the Healthy Foundation. I have mine in the shade LN4. I heard this was being discontinued, so I'm not totally sure how accessible it is to get anymore. I recently picked up a second one. It was on sale somewhere, and I'm not quite sure why I picked it up, but I picked up a second one. That's not the same shade. It might be cool, whereas this one is neutral, but it looks relatively like close enough. I can see the difference between the two bottles, but not enough that like it would look bad. But this is one of those foundations, if I want a seamless look, if I want an easy look, it's not going to cover everything, but it's going to give me like a general, like a fair amount of coverage. This foundation is one that I like if I want to cover up all the uneven color in my skin. I sometimes get very red cheeks, and then I sometimes have like weird, like my forehead tends to get more bronzed and like tan than the rest of my face, and I just have like weird spots. This kind of like helps even out everything, but it doesn't cover everything as well as the Maybelline one would. But this one is still a really good foundation, and I love having it in my collection, and it's such good quality. It's in a glass container, and it has a doe foot applicator, and it just like all of that combined, like it looks so nice. And for being like $15-16 at the drugstore, that's not bad. But this is a foundation that I like to wear for just like every day. Like if I need to do my makeup real quick for a couple hours, this is the foundation. It's kind of like Maybelline's All Day, and this is just for like special occasions, but it could do all day. Like I've done it before, but this is a foundation I would definitely want to have. I mean, clearly I bought a second one, so it's one that I'm anticipating the end for the foundation, and I hate to say that, but I've heard rumors, so I'm not totally sure, but it's one that I want to have on me. Next up is a powder, and you can probably guess this if you've watched my channel enough. It's the Milani Prep Set and Go Translucent Face Powder. Mine, the packaging is horrible. There's a security sticker here that I pulled off that now like left a mark. There's a little tag thing from CVS. It's a whole big dilemma. When my CVS was going out, or well, not they weren't going out of business, thank goodness. But when they were taking Milani off the shelves, it was kind of like an in-between. Like I could kind of sense something was going on, and they had one of these, and I wasn't in the market for a new one, but I picked this up anyway because I was like, I have to have a second one. Like I can't go without one. And if mine runs out, I need to have a backup. Like this is one that like I obsessively use. This is one I use almost every single day. This has started to pill up, and I'm not totally sure if I did something to it or if it's the product, but I haven't noticed anything weird when using it, so I don't find that that's a problem. But if you don't like that, then I would definitely like keep an eye on it, kind of a situation. But this is definitely one of those products that it does well all over the face, but you can also use it to like target like under your eyes and like your T-zone if you get very oily like I do. I like to use this in both ways, you know, just for a simple touch up or to just do all over the face just to make sure my makeup kind of like does what it needs to do and like, you know, wears well. But this is one I always reach for. I always travel with. I know it will work for me, so I don't mind constantly having it on the ready to use. For bronzers, I have two of them, and one's relatively new to my collection. The first one is the e.l.f. Primer Infused Bronzer in Forever Sun-Kissed. I use this a lot on my channel. I've used it a lot, but I'm not even close to hitting pan, so I'm pretty proud of that. You can kind of see the indent of the pan, but not enough that, like, I'm getting close. But this just looks so nice and bronzy on the skin. It gives me, like, the right amount of bronze to my face without, like, I don't feel like I'm going overly bronze, but, I really like the way this looks. It looks so nice on the skin and so effortless, and I'm really glad that I picked it up and tried it because it wasn't what I was initially going to get, but now I'm like, I have to have this. Like, the next one is from Catrice, and it is the Sungasm Luminizing Bronzer in the shade Golden Ecstasy. This is what it looks like. I've used this a good bit since I bought it, and most products, when I first initially buy them, I use a little bit to test them, and then they kind of just get, like, pushed aside in my collection. But this is one I reach for almost every single day. It looks so nice on the skin. It provides that extra bit of bronze that sometimes bronzers don't always have. It makes me, like, it gives me that golden glow that I really like. Like, if I want a very intense bronzer, if I want to look more bronzed, if I want to look like I was in the sun all day and got this really nice tan, this is what I use. It's not very glowy, like it doesn't have sparkle or anything, but it kind of has that like sheen to it, if that makes sense. So if you don't like luminizing bronzers, I would say to like avoid this, but this one I do think is really nice, and I really like the way it wears on my skin, and it's one that I'm finding like using all the time just because I love the way it looks. For eyeshadow, the only thing I have is an eyeshadow primer, and it's the Milani eyeshadow primer. I have repurchased this 2 or 3 times now, and I'm like halfway through this one and have a backup on the ready. I love this eyeshadow primer. For me, this works really well. It's easy to apply. It sits down right away, and I don't have to worry about my eyeshadow looking funny throughout the day. I always pack this. I always keep this on hand, and it sits on my desk right in front of me every time I film. My mascara is the Essence Lash Princess False Lash Mascara. And this is the green tube. You can get it for like $4.99 at Ulta or CVS if they carry Essence at your CVS. I know online they do, but I don't know if you can purchase this on the CVS website. But this is a mascara I stopped using for a while because I had others that did the same things, but I picked it back up again and I was like, man, this works really well. And then I bought a backup recently just because I feel like I'm getting low on this one and I wanted to have one like on the ready, because this is one I like to use off and on between my other favorites. Like I have top 5 favorites. I've done that video recently. I'll put that in the cards for you to look at. But this was one of them. It looks so good on the upper lashes, but also the lower lashes. That's really when you can tell if a mascara is good or not, is if it helps to lengthen your lower lashes and like really make them stand out. This looks so nice. It provides that nice lift, but it also curls. But I would have to say, if you like a curl, this isn't going to give as much of a curl as like you're expecting. So I would use like a lash curler, but that's up for you to try. But for me, it does what it needs to do. It looks really nice on my lashes. It looks like I have false lashes, which I love that in a mascara because I don't wear falsies. So anything that can do that for me gets an A+ in my book. So I definitely need to have this at all times. Then the last 2 products I have are lip products, which are 2 products, if you're on this channel relatively often watching videos, you'll know what they are. The first one is from Maybelline and is the Superstay Matte Ink Liquid Lipstick in the shade 65 Seductress. This is one, like, I swear, Maybelline, like, did everything they needed to do when they were doing the Superstay launch. Like, everything they did was, like, right up my alley, right what I wanted to hear. Like, it was everything I wanted. This liquid lipstick does come off, like, when you pull it out, it does look a little bit goopy and, like heavy, and it does apply heavy on the lips, but I find that I can like really evenly distribute it with the brush, that I don't really have any like issue. It's not too much or it's not too heavy or too thick. It settles down well but doesn't get too drying. It lasts throughout the day. You can eat with it, you can wipe your lips off, you can drink from a straw or just from the cup in general. It does sometimes leave a little bit of residue on items, but not enough that like it's a problem. It's not like your whole lip is showing. It's just like little patches here and there. And it doesn't come off, and as it wears throughout the day, it like still looks really nice. So it's one that I definitely like. I would recommend this as a liquid lipstick if you're looking for one, but also it's just really nice. And this shade is like the perfect pinky nude for me. The next one is from L'Oreal, and it's their Lace Chocolates scented Infallible Pro Matte Liquid Lipstick in the shade 848 Dose of Cocoa. This is the chocolate scented liquid lipsticks from L'Oreal. I'm clearly at the end of this, or I've used it a lot because it's starting to get really caked up at the top. It's not quite as thick as the Maybelline one, but it still applies the exact same way. It has a really nice doe foot applicator with that hole in the middle. It applies super well. It's like the best chocolate smell. I know some people don't care for it, but for me, I really like it. I love the smell of chocolate, so like anything chocolate, send it my way. But it looks really nice on the lips. It wears really well. This is a little bit more like of a nude color than what, it's almost too nude for me, but it's like right on the line of being like too nude or not nude enough. You know what I mean? Like, it's right at that peak, but I can pull it off. I like to use it if I've done something like really bold with my eyes, or if I want something very basic for my lips, or if I need a lipstick, liquid lipstick or whatever, that is going to last me throughout the day. That's what I put on because I know that as it wears, it won't look terrible and it will like mostly color my lips throughout the day. Like, it doesn't stay on all day, but as it wears off, it leaves your lips looking nice, that I feel like that's not a problem for me. It doesn't have a whole lot of like residue as you drink things, eat things, rub your lips, whatever. It comes off a little bit just like the Maybelline one, but not enough to like really bother me. I've never had an issue with it, and comparing it, these two, to all the other liquid lipsticks that I have in my collection, they're the best. I would definitely recommend these, and these are definitely ones I need to have at all times. I do have a backup of the L'Oreal one, but I'm not sure I have a backup of the Maybelline one, but I have other colors. So it's kind of sort of the same. But yeah, these are 10 products that if I ran out of, I need to get another one, or I need to have a backup. Not all of the things in my collection I would want to repurchase, but these are 10 items that I would definitely want to repurchase as I use them up and get towards the bottom of them. Let me know what you guys think of this video in the comment section down below. Let me know what products you would want to have on hand. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Ring the notification bell down below so you get notified when I upload my videos. And I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.